Hi, it's Alana, and today I'm going to be showing you 4 basic stitches that you need to know for sewing, whether you're a beginner or you're great at sewing, which is fantastic. You probably already know these already. But anyway, let's get started. Oh, by the way, there's a little bonus at the end, so make sure you stick around for that one. Stitch number 1. It is a tacking stitch. Nice and big and loose, generally fairly even, but it is used to hold 2 pieces of material together until you get them through the sewing machine. So for the tacking stitch, you're going to make a knot at the end. Nice firm knot. And I'm going to use paper. Should show up a little bit better. I'm going to start at one end, pull it through, big stitch all the way, and another, go back up, and back down, and back up. It really doesn't have to be too neat, it's just to hold the fabric together before it goes through the sewing machine, making a nice neat line when you actually get there to do it properly. Only needs to be a single thread that's holding the material, not a double. And when you're knotting both ends, it's then easier to cut it and pull it back through. And I have to make a shorter one, spread out paper, make a knot. And there it is, and cut it off just to make it neater. And there's your tacking stitch. Number 2 is the running stitch. Very, very similar to the tacking stitch, just is used for decorative purposes as opposed to holding something together and then removing it. It's usually even. You can make them long, you can make them short, but as long as they stay the same and look neat and tidy. So with a running stitch, much like a tacking stitch, but probably just a little bit shorter. And I like to make the gap between them a bit smaller, but the actual stitches themselves are a bit bigger. So big stitch, small gap. Well, medium sized stitch. The bottom and down to the top. Through the bottom and down through the top. Now if you want to make the stitch a lot sturdier, then you can do it double layered, so bring it down and make sure that 2 layers go through the paper or fabric, and that will give it a much tougher and more lasting wear to it. I'm just going to do that all the way to the end. I'm going to stop there. And that is a running stitch. And 3 is the whip stitch. No, we're not going to be getting our pieces of thread and whipping the fabric to make it look good or interesting. Oh, no, we're just not going there. So number 3 is the whip stitch, and it's basically to stop the fabric from fraying. So if you've been treading on your hems of your trousers, and they're actually your favourite pair of trousers, but you just want them to last a little bit longer, just use the whip stitch to stop them from fraying a bit further. Nice and simple, really. So with a whip stitch, once you've attached it, you're going to come over the side and slightly further along and push it through. Come back over the top, a bit further along and push it through. Come back over the top, a bit further along and push it through. And you're just going to keep going like that all the way along the edge. It makes a nice pretty diagonal stitch. So just remember, all the way, always go through just one side. I'm going through the top side here. It makes it easier. always go to the top side and you will get a whip stitch. Just like that. The final stitch is number 4, and that is the back stitch. It's a firmer stitch. I usually associate it with cross stitch as the finishing touches to a project, and it makes the picture really come alive. But yeah, you can use it on normal sewing on fabric, and you can even use it to embroider, so it gets nice little letters, write my name across the top. Not that I'd do that, but you could. Why not? What's stopping you? With the back stitch, once you come up through, you're going to go back down. So it starts off like a normal running stitch. Then you're going to come back up as though you're going to make a second stitch. But instead of carrying on forward, you're going to go back to that hole. And then you get 2 stitches side by side. And then you come really far forward. Again. Come up. And go back to that hole. So it was only the first stitch that was different. The rest of them continue backwards. So you're going to come up. Oh, that was a little bit far over. Come up. Go back to that hole. Big leap forward. Back to the hole. That was a really big stitch. They should all be even. Jump really far forward. Go back to the hole. And that's all you got to do. Keep going on like that. Really, really, really far forward. And back to that hole. So you make one new hole and you reuse an old hole. Ideally they should be straight and of even length. There you go, there's back stitch, my little wonky back stitch there, but never mind, that's the idea of back stitch anyway. And your bonus for today is how to sew on a button. Yeah, it doesn't seem a lot, but you'd be surprised how many people can't sew a button. You go out and you ask so many people, can you sew a button? Can you sew? No, I can't sew a button. Can't do that. Why can't you sew a button? It really should be something everybody knows how to do. So that's what I'm going to teach you how to do right now. It's going to be a fairly solid, firm button. However, if you want to know a more looser button, I'll give you a little tip in a minute and I'll show you how to do it. So to start with, you want to make sure your thread has 2 layers to make sure it's doubled, and that gives you less work to do. First of all, you're going to make sure it's really secure, go up and down a few times. A couple of times until you feel that you can tug on it and it's not going to come through. So usually I'll do it one more time. Gives it a really solid base then. And then you're going to get your button, place it on top. Up through. Oh, you would do. Let's go back up through and then place the button on. Up. Place the button on. Go back down through the hole. And pull it through firmly. Go inside my paper. And just keep repeating that. Cut through. Right down firmly, up through, back down firmly, and I'd probably do it one more time, cut through, back down firmly, shouldn't really wobble too much. You're going to turn it over, through, like that a few times, push the needle through. It's easier with fabric. One more time. Chop the ends off. And you have a button. If you wanted the button to be able to move around a little bit more because it was on a blouse and you wanted to be able to get it through the hole with a little bit more ease, you'd use the toothpick, and you place the toothpick, I'm going to use my needle just for explanation, place the toothpick on top, and then you'd go up and down over the toothpick with your thread, and then you'd slide the toothpick out and you'd have a lot more movement with your button. If you want me to show you a video, because I'm not explaining it that well, then comment down below and I will do a video specifically on a looser button. But otherwise that's the button, and that's how you got it on the back, nice and neat, and it doesn't move around too much. Now you can all go and fix your own buttons. So that's it for today's video. You now know how to do 4 stitches plus make a button. You don't have to stand there now and be, no, I can't make a button. You can instead stand there and go, I will sew on your button, and I will sew your button, your button, your button. You can sew everybody's button. And if you'd like to know how to do any other types of stitches, comment below and I will make a video. And if you liked it, give it a thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe, and I will be making plenty more videos. See you next time!